Hello, 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 everyone. It's Dr. Tamara Beckford, and we are here to welcome you inside the EntreMD Business School podcast. All right, we have one of our superstar. For those of you guys who have issues with charting, the charting queen is here. I'm going to have her introduce herself. She's going to tell us the name of her business and where she's located. Go ahead, Dr. Mary. Tell us all about it.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Tamara. And so I am Mary Leung, and I am a full-time hematologist oncologist. But more importantly, as Dr. Tamara pointed out, I'm the charting queen. And so I am a coach for physicians who are stressed, overwhelmed, and burnt out. I help them to leave work on time so that they get to rediscover joy in life and in medicine again. So I am the founder and CEO of Shining with Gratitude MD, and I am located on Long Island, New
She's in Long Island. All my Long Island people. Hello, hello,
York. Love your
hello.
accent.
Thank you. Thank you. Alrighty. So, Dr. Mary, there are so many things that can happen within a business, especially within 12 months. Now we have some tangible and intangible wins that happen. For you, let's start with what are the biggest tangible wins that you've noticed within your business within the last 12 months?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I just want to say that, even though I'm working full time as a, hematologist oncologist, I still have time to grow my business, and which is amazing. And so thank you, EBS, for helping me out. So one of the biggest tangible wins is really having the revenue. Of course, I'm not going crazy like people who are just working on their business just because I still have a full-time job. But just compared to, just this, I'll just say third quarter
Mhm.
of the year compared to last year, the whole year, my revenue grew 30%. So, which is really great because, honestly, I am not really working super, super hard on my business, and it's
Mhm.
still growing, and I'm enjoying it. I really feel like I have this harmony between, my personal life, my, attending physician life, and also my CEO life.
Ah, I love it. So you're noticing that you're finding this harmony, which is part of the reason why you are doing this business in the first place, is that you yourself have found this harmony and you're helping others to do the same. But this is great when you have a business and the business is not only bringing you joy, but it's also bringing you joy and it's bringing you revenue. And so you said that you've had some tangible wins with a 30% increase in your
Mhm.
revenue within this third quarter compared to the third quarter of last year. That is amazing. And you're still full time. And that's what, it's so amazing about this is that you are a full-time doc. So you're working full-time hours and you're running your business and you're finding the harmony to do that along with your family life. Now, what are some of the intangible wins that you've noticed within your business within the last 12 months?
I would say one of the biggest thing is really the mindset.
Mm,
So, it's really the longer I do this business, it's the longer, the more I realize just to be able to see what's possible.
mhm,
I think that before I started the business, I didn't even think that I could do a business. I thought I'm just made to be a doctor. That's it. Not even owning my own practice doctor, but just being a doctor. So I think that that is really a big thing, just to be able to dream big. And as Dr. Una always says, there is really no imagination police, and just allow ourselves to really go there, just be more curious about, and explore, what is possible. And I think the other thing is also is to um, just to do it, and just be bold about it and go with it, because a lot of times is the more you do, the more you get clear on what you want to do or what you don't want to do.
mhm.
So I think that's very important. And
Ah,
another thing is, I feel like, I definitely, emotionally, having more pleasant emotions, just having more joy, more content and gratitude, just being able to do it. Right now I'm definitely doing more than several years ago before I had my business. And well, at that time I was drowning in charting. Now that I managed and, going home before 5 o'clock and having the time to grow the business and help other physicians to do the same, it's really, giving me that fulfillment, and I feel like I'm really living in alignment with my values.
Oh, wow. That is so much to unpack. So I love it. So you're finding that harmony. You are finding, of course, joy within that, the joy of being able to not only you're going home, I don't know if anyone listened and heard, but she said before 5, before 5 o'clock, and you're having time with your family and you're finding that fulfillment of not only are you doing more now than you were a few years ago, but a few years ago you were not finding as much fulfillment in your life. Part one. Part two is that a lot of that was pulled down because of this excess in charting. And then it also made you feel, in addition, that you didn't, like maybe this was all there was for you to be a doctor, where you are not doing any outside thing, but just come in, being a doctor, and that was it. But now you found you're an entrepreneur. You have not only shifted the mindset to say that I'm a doctor and well, let's just say a physician and a physician entrepreneur who's building a business, who can do great things such as finish my charting and work on time. I can also build a business that helps others to do the same. And that's in full alignment with who I am as a person. And this is just the beginning of this new version. We said the beginning of Mary 2.0. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, and it's always evolving. It's just like there's always a new version, and I love it because we get to really create the version that we want to.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you said it's in line with, who you are on the inside. That's emerging. I love it. So, we're hearing all of these great things, and it's good. But we know that all of this did not come without its challenges. And in EBS, we call the challenges lessons. We're like, hey, these are just lessons to learn and to build from. So, with that in mind, over the last 12 months, what are your biggest lessons that you've learned within your business?
I think the biggest thing is to be comfortable to do the uncomfortable things,
Mm,
because those seem to be the things that really move the needle the most, you know?
right?
Yeah. So it's like, it's the things that you feel you don't feel like doing, the things that you're kind of hesitating to do it. Those are most likely the things that will really, grow your business. So I think that that's really one of the biggest lessons, and just to really practice to be comfortable to do the uncomfortable things. I think it's not just about business, it's about life in general.
Mhm.
That, yeah, just having that capacity and having that courage to do that, it's really a big thing that I learned.
Wow. Being comfortable doing the uncomfortable. Huge lessons in life. We apply to business, and those usually have the highest return on investments. But it's so hard because you
It
are
is.
so
It's still not easy.
but you realize that it moves you. And would you say that once you do that uncomfortable task, something that pulls you straight out of that zone, and then you look back at your return, like how are you feeling once you really look back? Because once you move from into that zone of discomfort, you've now elevated yourself. So tell them, how do you feel when you look back at all of those tasks that you've done that have been uncomfortable, that has gotten you those rewards?
Well, first of all, it's after I did it, it's like, oh, it wasn't so bad. why did why did I delay or kind of like procrastinate in doing that, right?
Mhm.
Second, it's like, when I look back, it's like, oh yeah, I can do this, I got this. So it's kind of like, I think it's a lot of times is we make it a lot scarier than
Mhm.
what it really is. So I think that sometimes we overthink it.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that I learned is really, okay, when I realize that I'm doing it, maybe I'm just overthinking it. I can just, give it a shot, just do
Mhm.
it and see what happens.
Absolutely. Just give it a shot. So, yes, we do overthink and we magnify how crazy it's going to be. And then we get it done. We're like, oh, it wasn't that bad.
Exactly.
I love it. And then when you get that return on investment, that return, it comes in so many ways, right? Sometimes it's monetary in returns, but the biggest return that you get is that gift of feeling a lot of pride from the actions taken when you were uncomfortable and knowing that now these are just now that action is now just an everyday version, like, oh, that's just what I used to be afraid of. I'm no longer afraid of that. I can now move on to the next step.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Alrighty, so now how would you say that the business school has helped you to achieve some of these goals that you've had over this last 12 months?
I would say, so EBS has definitely played a big role in my life for the past 2 years. And one of the biggest things is the accountability.
Mm.
I think, just having, Dr. Una as our leader to be, to kind of like give us the nudge to say, okay, I think the monthly challenges are really, really helpful for me and for a lot of people too. Because it's like, for example, we have the ask-a-thon, for example.
Mhm.
And it's like, you ask to be, say, on a podcast or ask for people to work with you. I'll just say that a lot of times when I don't have the challenge, I don't do it as hard. But when I have the
Mm.
challenge and then I'm supposed to write down what I did for that day, I'm like, okay, let me just do it so I can write it, right? So, but then I also know that when I do it, it's actually for my business. So it's like, it's like accountability is so important that I actually accomplished definitely more asking during that month than other months. The other thing is, of course, the community. I just feel like everyone is so loving and kind, and really with the wisdom. It's like the beehive, the
Mhm.
commonwealth. And when you just ask a question on the Facebook group, it's you get answers, suggestions very quickly, and they're really helpful, and everyone is really doing the best to lift each other up. And I think that's, really something that I don't see a lot, because a lot of times, like, you see some other groups, they may kind of do the opposite, and
Mhm.
I think here it's, I don't see that at all. And of course, I think Dr. Una um, as our mentor, she's really setting a great example of, what is possible, and her, energy, her vibe, just giving out that pleasant, positive, energizing attitude. I think that is really contagious for
Mhm.
all the classmates, and that's one of the biggest reasons I'm staying forever in the school. I'm just saying it right now. So and I think that and also just from the other classmates, just to see what accomplishments they have done. It's like, okay, if they can do it, I can do it too. So I view it that way. Like, of course, we're human beings, we're not perfect, and we like to compare, but I would like to use it as opportunity to compare
Mhm.
in a way that is helpful for me, not like
Mhm.
compare and despair type of thing.
I love it. And you're right. Within the community, you have a lot of people who are very giving of information, of their time, their resources. And that helps to build the commonwealth and make it such a deep commonwealth. And in addition, you're right. The mentorship that we get from Dr. Una, her positivity, her drive to better herself, and she pulls us along. She does things, and she's like, "Hey guys, all right, we're all gonna work on this," and everyone is really working and enhancing and building their business. And there are people who are at different phases within the school, and being at different phases helps one to see the next step, to see where you can go, the things that you're able to accomplish. And you can use that as an inspiration. And as you say, that you use it as a drive and a motivation, and not comparing in
Mhm.
and despair, but compare and being able to motivate and saying, hey, they can do it, I can do it. And the biggest thing is I have access to them because we're all friends and they'll
Yes.
absolutely show me how they got it done. So that's a great, great part. Now, there are people who are listening to this and they're thinking like, okay, Mary, that sounds good for you, but I don't know if I should join the school. What would you say to that person?
I would say that if you even have a hint of starting a business, just do it. Just join because you are that much, further ahead, compared to everyone else because,
Mhm,
you're going to have all the support that you need. And, as you mentioned just now, that there people in the school that are in different phases of their business. So there's some just starting out, or some, like way into kind of like seven figure, and I think that with that whole variety of different levels, that you can get a taste of everything, and
mhm,
just be, because you're never going to be 100% ready.
mhm,
And I think it's just, when I think about it, it's just like, you having a baby. You're never ready to be a mom and
mhm,
or dad. And so, when it comes, it comes. So you just kind of jump into it, and go, you know, just go with the flow, and just do it. So I think that when you have that idea, you already have this school that is well equipped to bring you to success. Why not start it? And of course, when you already have a business and you want to grow it even more, 10x it, this is the right place to go, because um view physician, what you have these like-minded people that are
mhm.
going to support you, and to really help you out along the way. And I think that this community is priceless.
Hey, you said it. This community is priceless. You have others who are helping here to help you along the way. If you are already making multiple six, seven figures and you want to 10x that. And then for those who are just beginning, the fact that you're even thinking about starting a business, you are farther along than a lot of your colleagues. And therefore, why not come to a place that can support you, nurture you, and give you the gentle nudge because that's what we do. We are going to nudge you to get things done. And then you're going to be so impressed with your accomplishment when you stick to it and you dive in, you work, you do the work, and you pull from the Commonwealth, you ask the questions, then you get the results. Well, any last words for those who are listening before we end this wonderful conversation, Dr. Mary?
I'll just say that if you're listening,
Mhm.
Dr. Una, and if you're just kind of thinking about if I should join it or not, do it now. Um, the tuition changes, so I'll just say that's how gonna leave it. So that's why this is the time to join.
There we go. If you're thinking about it, do it now. Thank you so much, Dr. Mayer, for taking the time out to give those on the other side a glimpse of what it's like to be inside the EntreMD Business School. I'm Dr. Tamara Beckford, and I cannot wait to see you on the inside. Have a great day. Bye-bye.